Thanks again for joining me here on Stephen Hellig Talks Tech. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to use the Elgato Stream Deck to enhance your work from home productivity. While I use this device for my YouTube channel, for recording, and for streaming, I've also been using it at work. And so I'm going to show you how I'm integrating it with Microsoft Teams, using it for my work OBS scenes, as well as some additional features like Zoom controls. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate every like and subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button below. If you want to get notified of new videos as they come out, don't forget to hit that bell. All right, let's get started. Okay, so you can see here I am in Stream Deck. If you are unfamiliar with the Stream Deck software, please go ahead and watch my previous unboxing video where I actually, in that video, will go through the setup of the Stream Deck software. So I've installed Stream Deck, and you can see the buttons I'm using here for my work from home productivity. So I'll go through each one of these and tell you how I'm using them. The profile I've created is called Work. If you're unfamiliar with Stream Deck, you can create multiple profiles so that you have different button configurations. So the one I'm going to walk through is my work one. And the nice thing about Stream Deck is that it has a ton of plugins that you can install. Some come out of the box, some you have to install after the fact, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But most of the ones for OBS here come out of the box. So I use OBS heavily for work and obviously for recording these videos. This scene that you're watching with the Stream Deck next to my video was composed in OBS, and I do that at work as well. So I have a couple different scenes. One has like a little stock ticker type thing at the bottom that shows my pertinent information, like my LinkedIn information. One has a simple nameplate, and one is just the camera only. And then I also use a couple scenes that have both the monitor and my picture or my video in the bottom right. So one uses the center monitor and one uses the right monitor because I have a 3-monitor setup here at home. So when you are creating these scenes, you can drag in a scene here like this, right? And you can give it a title. So let's say I wanted to create the Sony only scene again. So I'll say Sony only. And then I can actually choose a couple things. I can choose whether or not I wanted to show the title, what kind of text. It has some text options here, the size of the text. So you see it can get smaller and larger, right? And then as well, if I wanted the text at the bottom or in the middle or at the top, right? And then the color of the text, say I wanted that white. Next, for the scene option, it's actually pulled in my scenes from OBS. So I'm using the default scene, and then I'm choosing which one the default collection, and then I'm choosing the scene. And then the other thing you can do is you can change out the icon. So there's two options here. This option is for the active icon, and this one is for the inactive icon. So I've created some icons in PowerPoint, and so I could drag those icons in here. I'm not going to do that now. Actually, I'll just grab one of these because it's up, right? And it would change the icon here, and then this one I could also change to something else. Okay, so that's how you create one really quickly, but I really just want to walk you through what I have here. The first few are my OBS scenes, and now we get into Teams, right? So how am I leveraging Stream Deck with Teams? Well, the first thing I'm doing is I'm actually using something called a hotkey. So there are system actions that you can pull in, and I've pulled in a hotkey action here like this, and then you can actually assign it to a keyboard combination. Microsoft, and I'll put this in the description below, Microsoft has published the keyboard shortcuts for Teams. And so for instance, mute is Control-Shift-M. So you can see here that it recorded the keystrokes, Control-Shift-M, for my keyboard. And so now if I'm in a Teams meeting, I can hit a button on my Stream Deck to mute and unmute myself. And so I've done that here. I have one for muting, it's Control-Shift-M, one for video, which is Control-Shift-O, that turns video on and off. One to bring up the share bar. If you've used Teams, you hit share and it brings up a bar with options for either sharing your entire desktop or an application. Control-Shift-B will leave a meeting. And then I have one here to answer a call and one to decline a call. And as I stated earlier, I've created a set of icons actually in PowerPoint for these hotkeys. So very simple, right? And I'll show you here how this works when I'm in Teams. Next, I want to take you into this little folder where there's some little additional options in here. So if I go into this folder, I have some additional areas. One is I have like little stock tickers here to track stocks that I'm interested in. I think it's only right that I'm tracking GameStop right now just because it's just so crazy. It's interesting to watch. I have a little timer that comes out of the box here. You see this little timer here, which you can pull in, and it's a 30-minute timer. So, you know, it's a stand-up timer. I can hit that button and I'll wait for it to count down, and I'll stand up for 30 minutes. I have a sit-stand desk. So at least it'll tell me, give me a reminder, hey, I need to stand up for 30 minutes. This little button is actually, if you look in system, there's an open, and this will allow you to open an application on your PC. So I have a button here. If I want to open Teams, it will open the Teams client. And then I have a couple things here for voice meter, which I won't go into. And then down here are Zoom controls. Now Zoom actually has a plugin for Stream Deck, and I'm going to show you how to bring that in next. Okay, so I showed you how to, in the previous section, I showed you how to create quick buttons for Microsoft Teams, how to use OBS. And now if we go into this folder, I want to show you how to bring in Zoom. Zoom actually has a plugin for this that was, I don't know if it was created by Zoom or the community, but if you go down here and go to more actions, you will notice that it brings up a set of plugins that can be added to the Stream Deck. Now I've installed a bunch of plugins, and I'm going to actually look at what I've installed here. And there's some additional ones. I have more advanced tools for OBS. I'm going to be doing a video soon on integrating it with the Philips Hue. You saw the stocks that I had there. There's a stock and currency one. And then down here, it was made by Martin. It looks like there's a Zoom plugin as well. And so if you haven't installed it, there'll be a button to install here. And once it's installed, you will be able to search through this, and you can find the Zoom plugins. So there's a couple convenient ones here that are already out of the box, which I've brought in. I have mute, toggle, video toggle, share toggle, and then leave meetings. Those are the ones I use most. I don't ever use Zoom for work meetings generally. It's all Teams with most of, not only with Microsoft, but also most enterprises have standardized on Teams. But for personal life, there are a set of Zoom calls that occasionally I have to attend. And so these come in handy as well. Okay, we're here in Microsoft Teams. As you can see, I have a Teams meeting. I also have the Elgato Stream Deck. I'm recording the Stream Deck here that's sitting on my desk. And you're not seeing my video in Teams because I use OBS to record my videos. And so if I was to put the output of OBS, which is the scene you're seeing composed, into the Teams meeting, it would look kind of psychedelic. So just think that this placeholder image right here is my video, right? This is Teams thinking the camera is coming from OBS, and OBS sending to Teams that virtual camera is not working. But for all intents and purposes, that's my video. That's what Teams would be expecting. As you can see right now in Teams, it has my video on, it has my microphone on, so it would be taking in my audio as well. Now, if I was to go to my Stream Deck and hit this mute button, let me make sure that I have Teams highlighted here. If I hit this mute button, you'll notice that it's muting Teams. So I'm hitting the button and Teams is muting and unmuting. In the same way, if I was hitting the video, it would shut the video on and off. And if you hit the share button here, it brings up the share bar below. And if I hit this button, it will end the meeting. Okay. In addition, I have these two buttons, answer and decline. That's because Microsoft Teams manages our voice for work, and I don't have a physical desk phone. So if somebody calls me or calls my office line, it actually rings to my computer. And so I could answer or decline a call there. If you're interested in learning what the keyboard shortcuts are, there is a link that I'll put in the post. But in addition, if you hover over many of the options inside Teams, it will tell you what those keyboard shortcuts are. Okay, so the last one we'll push is the leave button. Thanks again for joining me here on Stephen Helwig Talks Tech. I hope you enjoyed that look in how you can leverage the Elgato Stream Deck along with Microsoft Teams to enhance your work from home productivity. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. As always, we appreciate every like and every subscribe here on the channel. All right, thanks for joining me. Bye.